Hello and welcome back to the Prog Hat channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone who subscribes to the channel and shows their support. It is greatly appreciated here at the Prog Hat channel. I'm back, and this is a thread response to a gentleman by the channel name MGK Boston. That's Mike. I will leave his link to his channel. Go check out his channel, give him a sub. You will not be disappointed. I'll put it that way. So the thread response, and hopefully I am doing this correctly, but it's to show 5 albums when you were the age between 12 and 13. I like this because, man, when I go back and I was thinking about this, I was like, man, there was a lot of great memories back then of because in that period, which would have been when I was 12 or 13, around the 80s, early 80s, and that's when I started getting into other styles or genres of music, more hard rock, heavy metal, and more of this, I'm going to say like this newer new wave sound. And I might be corrected on that when I show that record. But it was a really cool music journey that I was going into other genres of types of music. So let me go ahead and begin. Here's one from that period of my life. This is Rush Permanent Waves. I still to this day listen to this album. It's probably way up there as one of my favorite Rush albums. The other day I spent time on Spotify and I went back in between albums like Farewell to Kings, pretty much all the way up to Moving Pictures and the Exit Stage Left album, and made me a playlist of my favorite songs. And the majority of songs that I picked for favorites came from this album. I love this album. Um, when I first got it, it was another album that I paid with my own money that I earned as I worked in a grocery store. But yes, my favorite tracks on this is Natural Science, Different Strings, and Jacob's Ladder. That song with that nice little marching sound drum beat and that the clouds prepared for battle. I mean, that's so epic. Here's the back of the cover. I love these 3 photos right here. Okay, next. Now, I got into this band because of one of my birthday parties. It might have been my 12th birthday. And one of my friends back then gave me Van Halen #2. And I fell in love with Van Halen with that record. That album was I just, it's got a place in my heart, as well as this one, Van Halen, Women and Children First. Such an iconic record. I play this record quite a bit. Even to this day, I enjoy and appreciate the music on here. They were just branching out and, what do you call it, being more of the pioneers of hard rock. What can I say? Some of the songs have a little dark element to it, and then that would show up more on Fair Warning. But there is a ballad on here that is a very underrated rock ballad, and that's In a Simple Rhyme. Love that song. Folks, go check this album out. If you are new to Van Halen, you want to start somewhere, I recommend Women and Children First. Hey, it changed my life. Next, I got into heavy metal. I got into this band because someone at school let me borrow Maiden in Japan, and I couldn't stop playing that record. I ended up getting that record from that person. But then right after that, I remember getting the self-debut, Iron Maiden. I love this cover. I mean, this is classic metal cover here. You got Eddie right here. Look at this guy. But this album just rocks hard. It's like a combination of good hard rock, heavy metal, and you throw them in the blender and you just get nothing but perfection. This album right here is guarantee you to stomp your feet. Yeah. Um, Let me see here. Some of my favorites on this album is Charlotte the Harlot, Phantom of the Opera, Running Free. Can never get tired of that. And the song Iron Maiden. All right. Next, one of my guitar heroes. I remember when this record came out and I bought it because I love the song Let My Love Open the Door. Never get tired of that song, and I noticed that song is in commercials and movies. Still gets played on the radio. I am not tired of hearing it. But Empty Glass is a really, really good album. Another album that I just, to this day, visits the turntable quite a bit. And when it was a few years ago, I picked up this one where it is this real nice, and it's some kind of European pressing, but probably could see that's just white vinyl. Love this album. These songs are, some of these songs I could say that are like the soundtrack to my life or for my life. Like I Am an Animal. I love Rough Boys. A Little Is Enough. Empty Glass. I love Cats in the Cupboard or something. But I love this. The man's a great songwriter and guitar player. All songs written by Pete Townsend. Folks, go check this album out. Listen to it on Spotify. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but oh well, it could happen. Next, I got into this band. A guy was playing one day at school from his jam box, a cassette, and I struck up an interest, and I walked up to him and I said, "Is that David Bowie, or what are you listening to?" And he said, "You never heard of Roxy Music, man? You really should get some of their music." And he was playing this album right here, Flesh and Blood. I always want to say plus. Not too long ago, I found this nice little promo copy of it. But this record right here, I listen to this quite a bit, and even to this day, it is such a great album. New Wave, I don't really know how to describe sometimes their music, but they do a killer version of The Midnight Hour, 8 Miles High, Running Wild, Same Old Scene, My Only Love. Big fan of Brian Ferry. Well-dressed singer and a great singer. One of my favorite singers. But yeah, this album visited the turntable quite a bit. In fact, I still have it out because it's going to get played again. But anyway, I hope that is a good and decent thread response. Those were the 5 records that I listened to when I was 12 and 13. Those were albums that had a big impact in my life. Led me to other types of music in those genres, especially metal. I'm not a really big heavy metal guy, but I like heavy metal, and I like some of it, not all of it, and not the kind where the singer sounds like Cookie Monster. But anyway, sub up MGK Boston. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.